Hey everyone, how you going? We're going to make empanadas today, and they are like a little pastry pasty filled with meat and boiled eggs. And so it's got quite a lot of spices in it as well. So what we do first, we're going to put some boiled eggs on to boil. I put them in cold water, and once they come up to temperature, up to boiling, I'm going to turn them down and they're going to cook for 6 minutes. We're going to cook, slice some onion now, dice some onion rather. A bit of revision on dicing onion. Coming through this way a couple of times, and then this way. Don't waste the last bit there. You can just come through this way, turn it round, and then come through that way. Okay, we're going to put some oil in the pan. See if a tablespoon's enough. Should be. We're going to add our onion to the pan. Going to wait until that is transparent, which will mean that it's cooked. Our eggs are boiling. I think I can turn those down now. Now on the recipe it says to add the spice after you cook the mince. I don't really agree with that, because usually a bit of moisture comes out of the meat, right? And then it won't be frying anymore, it'll be kind of stewing. So I'm just going to add the spices pretty soon actually. Now it's quite a weird combination of spices for us, for Western people. We've got cumin, cinnamon in with meat, hello, paprika, nutmeg in with meat, and cloves in with meat. So it's quite unusual for the Western palate. I hope you like it. Apparently, Valeria, who's in Food Tech 1, she makes these all the time at home. I've forgotten what culture she comes from, but she's from a South American culture, but I can't remember which one. So as you can see, it's just starting to brown off a little bit now. So we're going to add the spices which have been weighed for us. Okay, we're going to add the spices now. I'm going to keep the temperature up, and I'm going to add the mince. Probably, oh, my eggs have gone off the boil. That's no good. We're going to add half of that mince because I don't want it to stew, I want it to fry. I wish you were here to smell it. It smells amazing. Okie dokie, so my eggs have been boiling for 6 minutes. Here's a bit of a trick for you. You know, sometimes when you do hard-boiled eggs, they go black around the yolks sometimes. So what you do is you run cold water on them. Run cold water on them, and then that'll cool them down, and you won't get that ring around it. So this first batch of mince has browned. I'm actually going to take that off and put it in a bowl, because I want to do the next lot of mince off separately. Because then all the liquid won't come out of the mince. Do you know what I mean? And it ends up what we call stewing, which isn't nice. I'm just going to wait for that pan to get back up to temperature now. Okay, we're going to put the second amount of mince in there now. And then when that's browned off, we'll put the first lot of mince back in the pan. Or we might put it in this lot of mince in with the bowl, because we've got to cool it down in the fridge. And then the spices will be all added in. Okay, this second lot of mince is browned. I'm now going to mix all the two together with some salt. Not too much, because we know that salt is not good for us. Some pepper. And we're going to mix it around to get all those spices through. Smells amazing. And now we're going to go over to the sink and we are going to peel the eggs. I'm going to turn that off and take it off the heat. In fact, I'm going to put that into a large bowl so that it will cool down, because we really shouldn't put the hot mince on the pastry. It will make the pastry not work as well. So we're going to put that in a really big bowl. You probably won't have such a big bowl at home, but just, you know, just put it to one side and let it cool down. Okay, when I was 15, I started my first job as a trainee chef in a cafeteria, an industrial cafeteria in a factory. And my very first job was peeling a big pot of eggs for the egg sandwiches. Here's the best way to do it, okay? Break the shell all the way around. Do it under the running water, under the cold water in the pot, or if you're having trouble, just run the tap a little way, and then you can just do it like that. And then it comes away nice and easily, just like that. Okay, we're going to chop these eggs now. Let's see if they're perfectly cooked. Yes, they are. So 6 minutes. Also, make sure you put them in cold water. So we're just going to chop them across like that. Makes me hungry because I haven't had breakfast. Then that's going to go in with the mince, and then I'm just going to run out and put it in the freezer while I cut my pastry. Mix that all together. And there's the filling for our empanadas. Okay, now we're ready to put them together. So first of all, we want to get a roasting tray or a baking sheet, one of the two. Just give it a bit of a brush with some butter. Some melted butter. You're going to use the melted butter to brush on top of the empanadas as well. So instead of egg wash, which is just another way of doing things. So the recipe says to find a large cookie cutter. Well, I found my largest cookie cutter is smaller than this bowl. So I think this bowl is just about right. And also I can get 4 empanadas out of one sheet of pastry, and I'm not wasting it too much. So I'm just going to run my small knife around the bowl. Okay, we're going to show you how to fill the empanadas now. Just dip your finger in some cold water and go halfway round. Add about 1 heaped tablespoon of the mince. You don't want to add too much. And the recipe says to add 1 olive. Well, we're going to put 1 olive cut in half. Clean your fingers and then come over the top. Squish it down, pushing the meat in so it seals. And now you can do something which makes it really nice. You can do this little thing that chefs do. Get the back of your knife, okay? Hold it here like this, and as you're holding it, come up like that. And then it looks like that. Nice. I'm going to put a little hole in it as well, and then just some butter, melted butter. We're going to brush that over the top, and then that goes in the oven for 25 minutes. Okay, here are our lovely little empanadas, and they've been brushed with butter, and I'm going to put them in the oven at 200 degrees. The recipe says 25 minutes. I'm going to check them after 20. Okay, I actually adjusted the recipe slightly because you know when you go to the supermarket, you can't buy 450 grams of mince, you buy 500 grams. So what I did was I put 500 grams and I put 3 eggs. So I ended up, and I used 1 packet of frozen short crust pastry, and I ended up with that much left. So if I had some more pastry, I could probably do some more. And I ended up with quite a few empanadas. I'll just count them and I'll tell you how much I ended up with, okay? So I've ended up with 20 empanadas altogether, but you could probably make a few more out of this mix here. And yeah, that's how much you get. Okay, now I'll stay rolling because I'm going to do the... We serve them, not with tomato sauce, but with lemon wedges. This is how you make lemon wedges professionally, okay? You cut the end off, both the ends off, come through here like this. You can either cut them like this and then take the centre out, get rid of the seeds, and then that's a proper lemon wedge, you see. Empanadas are finished, have a look. And I noticed that they are extremely hot, so I would wait to serve them just for a couple of minutes until they've cooled down a bit, because we don't want our family burning their little mouths on it. That was only 20 minutes, so they cooked quite quickly. The meat, of course, is cooked inside, so all we're cooking is the pastry. So just to re-emphasize, you can probably get more than a packet of pastry, and then if you've got some pastry left over, you could always make an apple pie. And we're just going to garnish it. A little bit of parsley and some lemon wedges. And voila, empanada.